We're going to wait and let a few people get in here, Bill, because people are expecting this.
Okay.
And we're live right now, but we're going to wait just for a minute so nobody misses anything. All right, let's go ahead and start talking.
Right.
Thanks, everybody, for joining us for this special edition of Real Talk. I'm David Thomas. This is Bill Anderson sitting across from me. County Commissioner, what district you in? Six. District 6. Bill was in play for how many years now? 12? 12 years. And you were in the middle of this duck sand negotiation. Project Cardinal, actually, negotiation.
Actually, the county commission was not involved in it. It was this board and Mr. Shane Hooper that did all this. We were in the dark.
Right, exactly. So we're going to get to that. But what makes us talk about this today, in case you hadn't seen it already, we posted earlier today in Brokers of TDEC, writing up a 54-page report on 23 violations of hazardous waste disposal and handling for our duck sand plant here that employs 21 people at the moment.
Not 135.
Not 135.
Not one Bedford Canyon.
And while we're going back to review this, we need to understand how we got to where we are.
Right.
All right, Bill, based on what you know and what you experienced, how did this whole thing get started for us to end up with an acid factory next to a hospital?
The way I believe it started is we decided that we were going to, and they've been working on finding some property to have an industrial park.
Right.
The word park to me means multiple businesses.
Right.
It means jobs.
Yes.
Who would not be for that?
That means there would be multiple lots.
That's
in
an
organized fashion.
That's a park.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. Well, there was a piece of property, and I believe the bank note was $1.5 million to a local bank, and the county bailed the bank out of it, bought the property, and then we began to spend the money to make it into an industrial park. Right. That's where it started.
Right. So when you say we, that's county and city together.
Right.
In a partnership.
/ this Better Bedford partnership.
Yeah. Shelbyville.
We'll get to making Better Bedford here in a minute because I don't see how we're about to got a Better Bedford on this one.
No, there's not much happening better than
no.
I would want to rewind the clock about 12 years.
Right
now.
But this is where we got the idea of where the property was. Then the idea came up about, which I think is a wonderful idea, about the TCAT school. And I'm glad we got it. It's awesome.
Oh, yeah. It's awesome resource.
Okay. We put it right out there. We buy more property at top dollar from an individual to put the park or to put the TCAT school there.
Right.
I would think the state of Tennessee with billions in surplus could have purchased the said property. We didn't have to buy it and give it to them.
Right.
And if you did do this, why did we have to turn right around and go buy the other TCAT building from them to put our central office? I think that's what's going in there. Why was it not brokered to swap properties or whatever?
Well, we have a tendency around here to sling taxpayer money around like it's nothing.
Well, we didn't. So we bought it, gave to the state here, which has $1 billion, several $1 billion surplus. Right. And we bought this other piece of property. So that's just for where we were on the TCAT school, which I'm glad we got it.
Oh, absolutely.
But why did we have the taxpayers of Bedford County have to pay for it?
That's a good question.
And they did. Now, that's how we got to this part of it. Now, as we got through into this, you mentioned it a minute ago, we were all meeting at the high school.
Right.
Courthouse was getting renovated.
Right.
And Project Cardinal gets brought up. Oh, don't ask no questions. It's a secret. Oh, we're going to lose out on this one. Commissioner Brent Smith was on the commission. And I remember he and I both asking, what is Project Cardinal? And it was like, how dare you ask?
Yeah.
That's the attitude that Mr. Hooper had at the time was, how dare you ask me what it is?
Right.
And you had another.
And that was the right question to ask, Bill.
Well, I mean, what is it?
I know. That's a logical thing.
Then the rumor came out that it was a battery plant.
Yeah.
And somewhere in there. And there was a rumor, and it was floated out by this same group of board or whoever made, mostly this was Hooper. So you thought there was a battery plant coming.
Right.
And I think it went to Springfield, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Created 400 something jobs. We wind up with an acid plant that goes here to put it in the batteries. Now, I brought up when this first came out, and I did it on the show one time, and I did it on the commission floor. There is a place in Beaver Dam, Kentucky, identical to this, that promised them 135 jobs. Yep. The little picture's the same as this. Then there's 21 people working there, and it's like 10 years later.
Yep.
And none of them are from Beaver Dam, Kentucky.
No.
What we got now, David?
Same
21
situation.
employees?
21 employees, best I know.
Are they Americans?
Don't
Are they
think
citizens?
so. I don't think so. No Bedford County.
Just saying,
unless they have moved to Bedford County. They
maybe they've got, viable visas. Maybe it's like that place in Georgia where 58 of them were deported. I don't know.
Right.
But I'm just saying, we were then sold at the last minute that it is an acid plant. Okay.
But that's when it became, you started to know who it was Duck Son at that time. Yeah.
That's when you Duck Son.
But it's too late to unwind at this point.
Well, it's a flawed business model I want to talk about too. And there's been two of them here locally. One of them's the whiskey place, and one of them's this place.
Yeah.
When you are running a business that off grants and government money and not sustaining the business with sales and revenue, it's a flawed business model.
Yeah.
Don't be surprised when you're in receivership.
Right.
Now, the federal government, my understanding is, gave Duxon, this Korean company, $3.6 billion to build 3 plants in this country.
Wow.
We got one of them. Now, my understanding is there's no telling what the state's giving them.
The state gave them an accelerated project award for $600,000. I've seen that. I've seen that. So,
well, what gets me about it is once you've gotten here with it, then we make it to where they don't have to pay taxes.
Right. For what, 15 years?
Then I think it's 20. Then we gave them the property. They didn't even have to buy their own land.
Right.
So Duxon so far has come in here with $1 billion grant, state money, and then we handed them everything to dump chemicals in our ground and already have 23 violations already.
Right.
And the place just now got open good.
Most of the stuff that I read, it's interior, inside, not handling it properly. But it's my understanding that they want to expand and go to the outside with more storage tanks, because I feel like the problem here is the EV business is down the tubes.
Yes.
And they don't have customers.
Right.
So we're going to produce this stuff. We got to store it.
They're going to keep producing as long as the grant money is coming in from the government.
Right.
It's sort of like some other businesses we can think
of.
And when things change, you don't get that government money to make payroll or make ends meet.
It's over.
You go under.
Right.
Then what do you got sitting up there?
Right.
Let's go back to something else, and you'll remember this one as well. VOMs. I think it was Drew and maybe Eric and me dug this up right as we knew about Duxon. Violent organic materials.
Right.
So they went to TDEC and asked to dump violent organic materials. Right. I kept asking the question, what's that? I asked, Brent Smith did. Where's the environmental study from TDEC?
Never got an answer.
Mr. Hooper said he had it numerous times. We couldn't see it. Then Drew Hooker got a hold of this field, remember, and asked him every quarter he came up there until he quit coming. Where's the environmental study?
Right.
So if you're TDEC, why did you give them permission to put VOMs into the ground when you never even did the said survey that you would have done for any other business?
Right.
Who covered that up? Who did that one? Had to be somebody high up the state.
The state, absolutely. It had to be, because Governor Lee was ramming this down everybody's throat.
Yes.
At this point. Yeah, because we got to have all these big factories built in Tennessee because it makes us look better.
Right. But there needs to be employees for big factories.
Right. No employees.
Zero. Now, my understanding is this TDEC thing looks to me like violates the contract with the county. It looks to me like they violated without employees.
Right.
Why are they paying you taxes?
I don't know.
Rest of us pay taxes.
Maybe that's going to unwind. Don't we have a board that handles that unwinds it? Don't this industrial board?
Somebody needs to do something.
I know. Exactly. So we'll see what happens on that.
But when you had right here, brought it up repeatedly, the Beaver Dam, Kentucky one was the same exact thing as this one, and nobody would listen.
Yeah.
It was like I was just sharpening up the tree. Make it up. I knew the guy in Beaver Dam, Kentucky sold him pencils for 30 years. He said, oh, y'all don't want this. You don't want this. There'll be 20 people working there, but they show you the big photo.
Of course.
And it shows all the cars. And it's almost the exact same photo that was shown in Beaver Dam, Kentucky, and we fell for it.
And you had all the cars sitting out in the parking lot.
So now we turn around with our industrial park, and it's one business that's an acid chemical plant.
Right.
Then we take the rest of the park and give it to a whiskey distillery that doesn't distill or make anything that's in receivership.
Right.
Good job.
Okay, so here's my question. How many people actually knew what was going on when this was codenamed Project Cardinal?
The only people that I think knew about it was that board and Mr. Hooper. And surely the board knew. I'm assuming they did.
Well, they had to, but in my opinion, I'm forming it as I go along here. They were not privy to everything, because do you think this
board
should
have been?
I know. I'm just wondering what wasn't said that should have been said.
Easy to come back and blame him for all of it, which he's guilty of this too, when he's gone.
Yeah, exactly.
And everybody's running for cover.
Yeah. He's the one getting thrown
And I
under
hear
the
the
bus.
comment, well, look at the millions of dollars of investment in Bedford County.
What?
Well, what? They don't pay taxes. They
Right.
don't create jobs.
They ain't even got an employee that's gonna fill their tank up with gas.
No. I mean, so where's the investment here?
I don't know. No jobs for us.
Tell you what you are getting, 56,500 pounds per month of ignitable solvent waste. Boy, doesn't that sound exciting?
It does. It does.
That's worse than violent organic materials. 11,400 pounds per month of solvent wastewater. Well, we need that too.
Now, where's that going?
Good question.
It's going in the sewer, isn't it?
Good
Don't we
question.
have doesn't city
Well,
run sewer to this?
they're also written up for a 7,000 gallon hazardous waste tank that wasn't marked. Tell them what it was. No one knows what it is.
right.
What's that mystery chemical?
Yeah, nobody
And
knows.
then David Thomas, who thought it would be a good idea to put this thing across from your airport, next to your jail, your hospital, and your justice center?
And then you got Walmart DC full of people too.
Absolutely.
Right down up the road. Okay. If this were to ignite, the question is, would it just be a big fire or would it be an explosion?
Could we put it out? That's my
That's
question.
another question.
Do we have the capability to put this kind of chemical fire out here currently?
Now, I remember they were going out there doing all this pressure testing to make sure their suppression system would work. And we had to get extra water pressure out there so it would qualify. So we've moved heaven and earth to get this in here. It's here, and here's where we are. How does that make you feel, Bill Anderson?
Let me ask you this question. We just saw a major incident with a UPS truck or airplane hitting a place in Kentucky.
Yeah.
Now you got MTSU's flight school here.
Oh,
Heaven forbid an accident. I'm just saying.
I know.
Because the airport's right there.
Yeah.
And something hit this thing. What happens to all of us?
Well, could we have a hazardous cloud?
I don't
know either.
I don't know.
I know that some of the symptoms and some of the repercussions from this type of chemical causes skin irritation, eye irritation. You don't want to breathe it because it can irritate your lungs and so forth. So it doesn't sound like a pleasant event if it were to happen.
Well, I mean, heaven forbid it would happen. But what if it did? What would happen then?
I don't know, Bo. Bo.
I don't know either.
I'm sorry.
But this wasn't very well thought out.
Well, I just want to know the conclusion that came with the Justice Center, the jail. What happens to the prisoners
Good question.
if this happened? The way I understand it, it was left hanging. We can't evacuate. So what happens?
I don't know.
Do you leave people inside of a prison locked up and evacuate everybody but them?
I don't know.
Is that what happens?
I have no
Bill?
idea. I don't think
That's
this was
the way.
thought through.
It is not. It is not finished. I mean, the conversation ended. Well, we can't evacuate. Well,
Let me ask you this question. I watch a fantasy football show and they have a segment called That Helps No One. Okay? That helps no one.
Yeah.
Who got helped here in Bedford County at all by Duxon, period? Who got helped? You go give a schools a little check with some grant money on it that the state furnished in a grant. It's not like they gave it to them.
It's just a refund,
It's
a
just
partial
a refund,
tax.
a partial take they've been
Yeah,
taking
yeah,
on.
yeah.
I mean, come on.
I don't know, Bill, but
And I'll say another thing about Mr. Hooper. The first time I met him, I told you he was a con artist and a used car salesman. How this town fell for that guy, I do not know. And he talked good, but there was nothing to it.
right.
If you ask him a question, he would get mad. And he brought you nothing.
Yeah.
This is nothing. Your
Yeah.
whole park, what park?
Okay, so what happens now?
I would hope that, what was the other term that was used? This ought to scare some folks too that they used here. Let's see. The term that was used, I wrote it down out of y'all's article. They were called
Frequent
significant non-complier. Boy, that sounds good, doesn't it?
Non-complier, yeah.
That's TDEX words, a significant non-complier.
They're on the EPA hit list.
They're on the EPA hit list too.
All right, so,
and they've just opened, really.
Okay, let's assume that this gets fixed and corrected.
What does it do if it gets in your drinking water?
I don't know.
What happens? Gets in your groundwater. You people live out there. What happens?
I don't know. These are questions.
And it's crawfish land.
We will know probably 5 years from now what happens.
If you'd had your environmental study like you should have had, I think they would have probably told you, hey, guys, this isn't a good idea to put it because the kind of land it is where water tends to settle, doesn't drain properly. And again, I'm going to go back to the other thing. It's limestone and cedar trees is what it was. You didn't need to put a subdivision there, and you sure didn't need to put a chemical plant.
All right, so here's the thing that bothers me the most. I kind of lost my cool on our earlier show when Bo was on. It doesn't make a lot of sense. we keep seeing these types of things happening. I'd much rather be talking about Santa Claus right now and Christmas and all the good things and football and all this stuff.
I don't want to talk about that.
But here this is. It comes slapping you in the face, and you're having to regurgitate some of the same decisions over and over and over again.
We couldn't run with this. Does this not bother you? How long have you and I known about these 23 violations? I think it's 21. How long have we known about it? But we couldn't tell the people because they hadn't released it. We've known about it for a while.
A little while. Well, we had some hints.
Several weeks.
Some hints.
Why didn't that come out immediately?
Probably opportunity to get them corrected that it's just not happening.
Apparently it hadn't happened.
But so here we are, and I look back on the process that y'all went through, and I've got a list of names of people that probably knew a lot about this.
And if they didn't, they
but Bill, as a commissioner, you voted for this, and the entire commission was put in a position to say, y'all got to trust us.
Yep.
You got to vote for it now.
That was what was said that night. You got to trust
on
us.
The stage,
us. Well, we trusted you, and thank you.
Yeah. Now, where's the trust now, Bill?
No, there is none.
Okay, so what happens next? How does county and city government try to stay in industrial recruiting when you have a snafu?
Okay,
like
industrial recruiting. What was the key word you just used? Industry. What's industry about duck sign?
Right now, nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
Right.
That is not an industry. It's a chemical plant.
But do you think that the private sector will locate a business?
Why do people not work there, and why do they use robots?
Good question. Probably because it's hazardous.
Because it's hazardous to your health to work there.
Probably
and we wanted that here.
Right.
And we had to have Project Cardinal because all these other counties wanted it. And come to find out after the fact, I'm told 12 other counties turned this down. Nobody wanted it. We wouldn't have wanted it if we knew what was coming.
All right. So there's a lot of comments coming in here. Here's a question. I've been wondering some of these same things since the place was built. I work at the DC. Okay. At the DC, I don't think there's an imminent threat, but if this doesn't get cleaned up and this continues, there's a threat for ignition, explosion, possible hazardous cloud. I mean, you don't know what
spillage.
Spillage. Who knows? Who knows what happens next? It's a good question, though. It's something to ponder. But somebody should have thought about this 5 years ago.
Sure.
Okay, so here's the question.
We just wanted to put
accountable?
There to say it.
Who is accountable? All right, I get the fact that we've got a park that sit there for a little while and nothing was coming and there was pressure to get something in it. Because I was sitting here fussing about we got an industrial park and hadn't got nothing in it. But like you say, it needed to be industry.
It had been the battery plant even. I was okay. That's 412 jobs for Bedford-Countyans.
But
it's not. And it's not. It is the chemicals that go in it in a flawed business model again to where, like you said, this is all falling apart with the Trump administration.
Right.
The government's not putting up these electric batteries.
They're pulling this back.
So it's when the grant money dries up, how do they make any money? And then what are you left sitting with after the fact? My next question to you and to the city and the partnership or whoever's doing this, they want to expand. For what? To store more of this crap?
I don't think
Why would they want to expand?
I think their partnership has washed their hands of this deal.
I hope they have.
I really do.
But that industrial board
if
is
you
what I'm talking about.
If you're gonna go and try to double down on this, then I don't see any hope going forward as far as a partnership of any kind bringing industry to this town. As a matter of fact, I don't see that there's any public trust. I'm sitting here as public, and I don't trust anybody.
I agree with you. I hate to say it.
I mean, it's just like it's sickening. It makes me sick to know my grandkids are going to be raised around here in that type of garbage. Everybody take care of things. Put out fires, arrest criminals, get your justice system right, keep the place clean. Businesses and industry will come.
Right. And we do need jobs and industry jobs. We need jobs. We just keep building houses, not to get on my tangent, but I will. There's nowhere to work.
I know.
How about we get some jobs? You had an opportunity here to create jobs. I might have not liked a battery plant, but you know what? 412 jobs for the citizens. Here's a good deal.
That's right.
You got zero.
And you have no industrial park left.
Maybe some of y'all out there to call ICE and have them go out there and let's see if they're even citizens. It may be like that 58 people in Georgia and they all get deported. I don't know. Maybe
I would say they got their ducks in a row.
Maybe they do. Maybe they don't. You don't have your ducks in a row on the chemicals, do you? Obviously.
Yeah. All right. Dennis Grouder comes in. So between the commission, council, fire department, and us, general public, what can be done now to push for more answers and accountability from duck sand? Do they have a PR spokesperson? I'm sure they're going to come out and give us a speech.
But it might not be in English.
That's true. And it probably will be.
Translator.
But here's the thing. They're going to come out and say, we're handling this. We fired The
Well,
guy,
they've had time to answer this right now. We're in December going into January here, and some of this started in September, and they've done nothing.
I'm sure they're going to come out with a public statement. But here's my question to Dennis's deal: how do we prevent something like this from happening again?
Good question.
That's what I'm more concerned with. This is.
But how does TDEC watch them when they didn't even do the environmental study? This is on TDEC as well.
Yeah, because Governor Lee.
Maybe so.
Representatives wanted to ram this down their throat because we built a big factory. Because here's the thing: government wants to take credit for everything good and blame it on somebody else when it's bad.
That's right.
And it's landing right in their lap. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Commissioners, next time around, say no until you know exactly what it is.
But
that's what's going to happen.
If you're out for the betterment of the people here, why didn't you listen about the Beaver Dam, Kentucky one and call up there and go look at it for yourself? Because it was textbook. That's right up the road from us. It had already been done once before, and we fell for it again. That just frustrates me to know. What do we do about it? I don't know what we can do about it. I do think if they don't clean this up, TDOC will shut them down.
Tennessee's
EPA may shut them down.
Yeah. All right. So,
but there we go again, man. We always come back on the state to bail us out, don't we?
Yeah. So, but going forward, what's the move that a citizen can take to prevent this from happening?
I have no idea. Unless we just all sit here and say no, we know exactly what it is.
Exactly. I think that's what's going to happen. And
I don't need the government recruiting industry. Let's have industry recruiting industry and keep the government
key to it.
Yes, sir.
First of all, you got in the real estate business when you bailed out the bank.
Yep, right there.
You got that done. Stop that garbage.
Then you went and bought another piece of property to give to the state of Tennessee that's right next door to it.
And you know what it is? There's a group of people that think they're smarter than everybody else. There is. Okay. That has to be.
Yep.
I call it the good old.
Right. But even the good old boys, Duxon didn't come out on this one, did they?
No.
They sure didn't. Nobody came out. That helped no one.
Yep. Well,
no one. Except, I guess, it helped the South Korean company that folks may or may not be, if you peel the onion back, owned by the Chinese. To be honest with you, you just might peel the onion back.
It could be.
There's some Chinese involvement to it, I promise you.
Well, they have some synergy. I'm looking into it. All right. So, and this question is going to keep haunting me, and it's going to haunt everybody out there. How do we stop this? How do we keep it? I'm not talking about duck sand.
Right.
The next Project Cardinal. How do we shut that crap down?
We don't need an industrial board that should have already been dismantled. We don't need it. Let the industry take. If somebody wants to come here, they'll come here. We've got some great owners out there that can sell stuff. They're great at it.
Exactly. That's who needs to be handled.
I mean, just your real estate guys do real estate things, and government people go push your pins in your government office.
That's right.
And stay out of all this because you sure mess it up when you get in it. This is a disaster, absolute disaster. I don't know what else to put it. And then when you give the back part of it away, is there any repercussions? Did that property that we gave to the non-distillery place that's in receivership, do we get that property back? Or
I don't know.
Credit on it?
I'm gonna think this receiver gives it back to the county or the city. Was it the city that gave it?
I think it was both.
Combination. It was 26 acres, wasn't it?
Right, something like that.
26 acres or so. I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. But that question is going to continue.
The city or the county or both of us going to have to let them expand?
Do you want more of it?
No, but isn't that what they're trying to do?
I don't know. We'll have to hear how that went. Okay. I know that there's a request, but
expand to what? Where's your chemicals going? Who are you selling them to? Because I got a feeling you're just storing them because there's not a market. Sell them. There's not a market for them.
I don't think you can sell them right now.
I don't either, because I think the Trump administration stopped all the government money to the electric cars.
And Bo and I described it like, you remember when 8-tracks went to cassette?
Yes.
And then right quick it went to the CD. I think this technology is the cassette. They last about 5 years and it's out of here.
It's out of here. Yeah. And then what do you got? And then what do you do with it?
You got a big old building.
Well, I got an old chemical plant. Going to bring in another chemical plant to replace it.
Oh. Well, that's where you got to watch things. Bedford County needs for this to be cleaned up by the company and some actual jobs produced.
We needed jobs.
Yes.
There's never going to be 135 jobs there. No. Never. There's not.
Never
never was going to be.
No.
Never was going to be.
No.
And we fell for it hook, line, and sinker.
All right. So.
But the investment was here. Millions of dollars into the community.
As a commissioner, Bill. Somebody walks up to you now and asks you, how in the world did this happen? We talked about it here. Give me a one sentence. Can you give me a sentence that you would answer that? What in the world happened?
The commission gave up its power one night to a board of non-elected individuals that gave you this. And I'm going to go back to something else. I think at times this happens with the planning commission at times on both city and county. They got too much power. At least, and we gave up our power because when I complained I had two other commissioners that were on the other side of the aisle of me say to me, well, you know, we did just give it up to them. That's what we were giving up, perhaps.
Exactly.
We didn't realize it.
Okay, you voted on it. Yeah. They brought it to you, but it was Project Cardinal.
Yeah,
it was a secret.
You got to trust us. You got to trust us.
Never. That's, to me, that's the lesson here.
And that's when the rumor was out about the battery plant. Well, then y'all got to sit here to myself. They've been the battery plant and say, if that creates 412 jobs for Bedford County Shelbyvillians, that's what we should do.
Yeah.
Well, it was never the battery plant. It was the acid plant. And
the sales job was done on the jobs. They said 200 jobs.
Yep. I heard 135. And it was guaranteed 135.
Right. And it was also the reason we're building it here is because some people can drive from Murfreesboro and Williamson County, and that'll bring people to Bedford County, even if we don't have people that this area is the ideal spot.
Right.
Remember that sales job? That's when it was 200. Okay. And now we have what we have.
Now, how do you get the chemicals? If I say the battery plant's doing great up in Springfield, how do you get the chemicals from the said chemical plant to Springfield? Tractor trailer?
Probably.
Well, that's nice and dangerous too on your interstates, isn't it?
Yep.
Anybody think any of this through, guys? Anybody?
Nobody has thought of anything through.
What you probably should have done was put your acid plant right next door to your battery plant, one way or the other, and built them right there together.
Be a pretty good little
and not have to transport whatever these chemicals are. And I want to know, what are these chemicals?
I'd say now the next time you hear a code name, Bill, you need to run for the hills.
And when I heard, and I'm gonna go back to this too, when we found it, VOMs. Had you ever heard of violent organic materials?
No,
me either.
The key word being violent.
Violent. That cannot be good, folks. And TDEC approved it without a study. And still, if there is a study, somebody show it to me because we've never seen it.
No, never seen it, but it's past. It's immaterial now. It's past. You look forward and figure out how not to do this again. That's what you got to do.
Get us out of the decision process of business. Let business be business and government be government.
Right.
We'll all be a whole lot better off. Because I'm telling you, the government is not good at business.
Obviously.
Because if you ran government the way you and I have to run a business, you'd be bankrupt.
That's right.
I mean, it doesn't work.
We see some examples.
And the flawed business model, I mentioned it before, I'm going to mention it again. When your business is based on grants and not sales and a real business model.
Sales or services.
Sales, services or something, and you're dependent on that government money to come in. One politician changes hands. I guess it's over for you.
Yeah, it is. It is. And I
think that's what you're looking at right here. Eventually on this one, though, when the government money dries up, they have nowhere to sell their products. Then what do you got?
A mess.
We got a mess now.
Absolute disaster. Okay.
But having it on my interstates and my highways and trucks with wrecks that we have is dangerous.
All right. So, Bill, preventing this going forward, I think you and I both agree that government needs to stay out of recruiting industry. Okay, because obviously we don't know what
they don't
industry
understand
is.
the word industry.
The industry is just totally thing.
Don't understand.
All right, and you'll have 10 people that have been in that their entire life as careers, and they'll sit there and argue with you, and you can point to them and show them these examples, but they'll never take ownership in it.
No.
Never say, "Oh no, that didn't work." That's we got a great big old building out there. Nothing's happening. No jobs. As a matter of fact, now this is going to be a sore spot in Bedford County for a long time.
Yes,
sitting next to your hospital. I'm just wondering, what happens if an incident takes place and we've got men left in the jail and there's a couple of health issues that arise from it? What happens to our county government?
What about your hospital?
Same thing there, but they do have an evacuation plan.
They have a plan. I don't know what you would do.
You can't, but as far as your jail, you don't have a plan to take them out.
Having it that close to the airport leads to issues with something that could possibly happen. I mean, we're not running scared here. We're just saying if something does happen, the question is, do we have the ability to put the fire out?
Right.
Does water work? I don't know that it does.
These questions we're asking should have been answered way back when.
Yeah. What chemicals exactly are we storing? What are we doing? Is it lithium? What is it?
It's electrolytes.
Okay.
Based on 14 or 15 different ones. We've got the.
Is there lithium out there?
I don't think there's any lithium out there. It's all electrolytes that are put together to form. And when these things are combined, that's when it turns into a more toxic and more violent material.
Sounds exciting, doesn't it?
It does. I don't want to be around for that.
And I'm going to say one other thing. I'm not doomsdaying at all, guys. And that's not what I'm trying to do here. But in the world of terrorism we have, I sure don't want that in my county.
No.
I'm just sorry. I don't. Because you want something to go boom. This could go boom.
Yep. And the checklist that you should have been going down, I don't see where anybody checked that checklist at all.
I don't see where anybody did anything. Anybody get anything out of this? Anybody? Usually you could go back and say, well, so-and-so made some money here. I don't see that at all. It's just a lose situation.
Well,
one positive.
I'm looking back. I'm going right back to the first statement you made. What was the first move?
Yeah, to bail the bank out of a bad loan. And that's how we started with the piece of property we started with. And then we just decided we wanted to fill it up and then trusted an out-of-town person who led you astray. But we fell for that guy hook, line, and sinker. Every time he would talk, I'm poking people and I'm going, this guy's a car salesman, man.
Yeah. Yep.
Car salesman. Would never answer questions. Would get mad at you if you ask him to him. Now he's gone and we can all just blame him for all of it. You can't tell me some other people didn't know on top of him.
Oh, I guarantee you.
I
got a list right here of the people that were on that committee. And then you had other people that was on the peripheral of that. You had people in the partnership. They talked. They knew what it was.
Yeah.
Okay. So going forward.
So why was it Project Cardinal? One, there was no one else wanted it. It was Project Cardinal because they knew what it was. They knew they'd get feedback on it and it might cost them from getting this.
Yeah.
They knew what this was.
Oh, absolutely. I agree.
They knew.
So again, that's something we all have to think about. How do we stop this from happening again? There's going to have to be some changes.
Elected officials don't need to give up power and give it to people that are not elected. That's a start right there.
That's a start. And then we've got to get
out of that.
More of the good people that are elected.
Yes.
We got to have representatives, more representation for the public. Those people that make a decision based on what they're hearing from their constituents and for their well-being.
Right.
That's who we got to have in office.
Yep.
Election time coming.
It's coming.
It's coming.
Coming soon.
So all these maneuvers, the political maneuvers that we're going to see over the next few months, certain people coming into office, wanting to run for office and people getting behind them and certain people, you need to watch who supports who.
Well, I'm going to say it again, that the partnership's going to back a bunch of candidates here, and I'm probably not going to be one of them. Of course, they're not a fan of me. However, I have a problem. They take government money, then form a PAC and get involved in elections. I don't think that's right. Maybe it's legal, but it's not right.
I'm sure there's a legal maneuver.
Oh, I'm sure it is.
There's a legal maneuver, yeah.
But it's not right. And I don't know vote any more budgets anymore that include any money for them. I almost didn't vote on it last year over that one thing, but they bundled it all together.
I think that's a criteria for your next election. Whoever will not answer this question, you don't need to vote for them. Ask them if they would be for a line item budget approval process versus a bundled approval process.
We should bundle everything now.
No bundling. That should be something going forward because thing we need to look at because everything leads back to money.
You can't touch education. Yeah. You can't touch it if we wanted to. You can't touch the sheriff's department and you can't touch the highway department.
Right.
So automatically there's your bundle.
Right.
All the rest of it's on the table.
The rest of it needs to be on the table and needs to be looked at closely.
I agree with you 100%. But, I think when we're looking into the election next year, you've got to think about, you need people that ask questions. Sometimes when you ask questions around here, they get mad at you. You're not supposed to
always get mad.
You're not supposed to ask questions.
No questions.
No questions.
No questions.
No.
Yeah.
It's just all going to be okay. And we see what that got us.
Yeah.
And it's kind of sad in a way too, of what's happened here.
Yeah.
But what in the world, how much money did Shane Hooper and those two girls make off us? Somebody get me that number. $1.5 million. And what did they bring you? Ducks on. That's it.
Yeah.
All that money and you got fleeced.
And a bunch of ribbon cuttings.
All look and feel good and you got nothing. You got zero. No jobs.
No jobs.
No tax revenue.
No.
You got nothing.
Yep.
And then you gave the rest of your park away to a whiskey place that don't make whiskey that's in receivership.
Okay.
Again, with a flawed business model.
Yeah.
If you're not making a profit in business, you're not going to last long.
That's right, Bill.
The government handouts going to dry up eventually.
It's just basic math.
You got to pay. You got to make the payroll. You got to pay your bills. You don't pay your bills, you get shut down. It's pretty simple.
It is, isn't it?
Isn't it? What would happen if you didn't pay your bills? Shut down.
And our government loves to invest in that.
Now, let me say this: in government, you don't have to worry about that because you just keep raising people's taxes
or print money.
You just keep raising taxes. Yeah. In business, if David Thomas raises his price to a point, no one buys your product.
Right,
I'm in trouble. In government, just keep raising taxes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
that's all you got to do. Keep raising taxes. There's more money. We'll just raise them. And I'm warning people right now to watch these reappraisals that are coming up. They're going to try to raise your taxes without us voting for it off that reappraisal. Hide and watch.
Yeah. Well, it's coming.
And it's going to be bad.
Yep. Well, Bill, we're going to have to get out of here, but I know this is going to be a continuing story. I'm anxious to see what happens next. I'm anxious to see if we have any comment from any elected official, any elected representative concerning this outside of you.
I'm anxious to see it too.
All right. Well, we're going to follow this story, guys. Thanks for tuning in. We appreciate the participation as always. And we're going to come back again as soon as we have some updates. Thanks, Bill, for taking your time to go through
I got
this.
my one sentence for you.
All right.
This helped. Nobody here is helped by this.
No, not a bit.
Not one good thing.
How many will be hurt? That's
how many
question.
are hurt?
Yeah.
And what damage have you done to your environment and possibly your drinking water?
Yeah.
I mean, forget the rest of it, just the drinking water.
Yeah.
It'd take you 100 years to get that back.
Yeah.
That's why it's so important we take care of our water table.
That's exactly right. All right, Bill. Thanks for watching.